Hawn walked in a smooth stride as he made his way from the residential area of Nomad's Forge towards the command center. The station was still mostly quiet, with only the soft hum of power conduits and lighting systems to be heard. Despite the influx of new residents coming via Farmhold, as well as those from Criterion and beyond, the vast station was at less than a tenth of its basic capacity. Not that it kept the various automated production systems from running at a respectable rate, churning out parts and components at a regular pace. Those parts were then assembled and further added to until fully built, complex systems and devices were ready to be packaged, then shipped. All in all, between the sales of raw materials and the lesser packaged products of the forge, things were beginning to accelerate. Soon, transport ships and their escorts would be built and traded to merchant families in exchange for their services in bringing goods to markets discreetly, as the reality of what Nomad's Forge really was, so far, was a well-kept secret. The fact that it was far more than a simple factory on the edge of a strange stellar oddity, that in fact, an entire system, including 2 stars, several planets and moons, all created and built to act as an enormous factory, was all but unknown to the wider realms. Using the celestial functions of gravity, augmented by stations and automated drones, resources were created and extracted from the planets and processed on the moons. The array of controls and systems that made it all work had to count as one of the greatest masterworks of Analar engineering. Not only did it work, it could work almost without outside action for ages with no error or malfunction. From the megafauna and megaflora that produced Christ on a scale nearly unimaginable, to the collection and extraction of mineral and biological resources along with it, every step had been perfectly accounted for. And Hawn was still in awe at the attention to detail on display in its creation and subsequent operation. As he entered the command deck, he took a second to scan the various screens and displays, ensuring and seeing that everything was running smoothly. Quickly assured that this was indeed the case, Hawn then moved to check the flow of people and goods being transferred via the Forge's other secret technical wonder, that of an Analar gate. Able to connect to nearly anywhere in the realms, the gate could allow for instant travel, once the various settings and controls had been worked out. While nearly all gates had a basic set of operational means, many had other means of directing and controlling them. This is really due to the fact that the Analar themselves could direct and control the gates via their grace normally, and the controls were in fact for the non-Analar. Thus, Nomad's Forge were able to connect to any number of known gates, mostly under Criterion ownership, thanks to the centuries of service in the House Advanced Division. These, as well as the others they were able to access, did allow the transfer of goods instantly to a healthy selection of markets and consumers. And as important as that no doubt was, the newest addition to the gate's link would prove to be even more vital, Hawn suspected. Hawn turned mid-thought to greet Kanar as the Analar came to a halt beside him. Kanar was confirming with Hawn that the limited-use gate that had been constructed at Farmhold was operational and fully stable. Kanar had spent almost a week in its construction, and ensured that it would be reliable and would last for the rest of time if need be. It was limited. It could only open a link to Nomad's Forge, or with a properly constructed key, any other normal gate location. This was both to keep the construction time to a reasonable length, as fully open Omni gates take many times as long to build and prepare, especially for a single NLR. As well as to prevent it from potentially being turned into a weapon against Nomad's Forge, should Farmhold fall in their upcoming battle for survival. By the 9 and 4, welcome to the library. I am the recorder, and today we will be covering in brief one of the great wonders of the NLR, their gates. Devices that allow instant and safe passage to any point in reality, including other planes. Perceptive patrons, regular visitors, and of course, new guests of the library. We began by covering the fact that the NLR gates are an invention of the earliest days of the realms, in the time before time, in fact. This means that throughout the many ages since then, they have been a part of the realms and her history. Considered the ultimate in transportation and planar travel, the gates and the methods of their construction is alone the NLR's purview, as it requires the use of their grace to properly create a gate. However, once built, so long as the method of control beyond grace was designed for, anyone with the proper knowledge, or in some cases, physical keys or other access devices, can operate and use the NLR gates. Normally, a gate appears as a large ring in the ground or as a dais with a station to control its function to the side or nearby. While most gates can theoretically link to anywhere, most often a series of codes is used to direct the traffic, prearranged and set link points set by esoteric means created by the NLR long ago. This ensures that the gate functions accurately and prevents misjumps and any disaster that might result. This code system includes ways of targeting other gates directly, so that one can easily move with speed from area to area, letting the gates handle the hard part of the targeting and linking process, as the gate-to-gate codes are vastly shorter and easier to use than general transit codes. While there are an endless variety of gates, their function is generally more or less the same, transposing the current and target locations for but a moment before snapping the connection shut with the subjects at the other location. It is very fast and very stealthy, nearly undetectable to any but the most advanced of scrying, sensors, or magic. It is with these gates, with no less than one aboard each of their mighty sky cities, that the NLR were able to so effectively project their power over the younger races. The gates allowed them to move accurately and rapidly, while other forms of transit were either far more risky or far more time-consuming. Gates outside of Sky Cities are far more rare, and the few that have been found and recovered are closely guarded secrets by any lucky enough to have them. It is known that one is in fact buried in the center of Polaron's Grand Arena, and has been used by the gods more than once in the pages of history. It is also heavily rumored that the Dragwa home city likewise contains a gate, but there has never been any confirmation of this made. However, seeing as the home city was originally an NLR military base and battle station, it seems far more likely than not that a gate does reside within its central keep. Beyond these two, all other gates outside the NLR's control are but rumor, hearsay, and state secret, with the NLR actively trying to reclaim and recover any gates that may have been lost in the many ages since the Elders' uncontested rule. These will tend to take the form of gates recovered from fallen or destroyed sky cities. And that concludes our brief look into Analar Gates, a mighty but simple to explain tool of the NLR that has had far-reaching effects and uses over the many ages of the realms of Jam'mar. From the gods, to the NLR themselves, to those few lucky enough to have one of their own, each protects and values their gates and their associated codes with great vigor, else their greatest tool becomes a liability. I hope you've enjoyed this quick entry and will join us next time as we continue to explore the realms of Jam'mar. I want to again thank you for your time, your interest, and of course your support of both the realms of Jam'mar and Gryphon's Library. Thank you. Until you next make your way back to the library for another entry of Intro to the Realms, I, as always, have been the Recorder, and by the 9 and 4, be well, take care of yourselves and each other. If you'd like to contribute to the further exploration and explanation of the realms, please consider leaving a comment, a like, and sharing the video around. I read all the comments and make efforts to reply to each. Thank you for helping to grow the channel, and know I look forward to each and every one of your comments. Other methods of support can be found in the channel's description. Thank you for watching,